Sorry for the wait, guys.
All right, Coach, when you're ready.
Yeah. Ton of respect for Coach Dixon. Ton of respect for Coppin State as a program. You know, I've watched them from afar for a long time. I've watched what Coach Dixon has done there. I remember when they won in the NCAA tournament. Really good program, great head coach, and a team full of tough kids and tough players. And Sessum's obviously is a dynamic player, and we knew that'd be a challenge. So, that being said, obviously, glad that we were able to find a way to kind of turn the table a little bit in the second half and find a way to be better on both sides of the basketball and finish the game with a win.
All right, questions?
Coach, is that part of this maturation process? Maybe y'all don't play your best but still find a way to win at the end of the day?
I think that's sports all the time. I think you would hope you want to always play your best for 40 minutes, and then you can truly say, hey, whatever the result is, the result is. And you can say, I think coaches always say this, you would rather be beat than lose. And if someone else plays their best and you play your best, and it's not good enough that night, it's not about accepting it, but you have to accept it, as we've talked about it in here before, because the most important thing is, what did that 40 minutes look like? What did it look like play to play? What was the process? That being said, I thought we got off to a good start, both sides of the basketball, offense and defense. I thought they made a nice adjustment. They spaced the floor, and they really started trying to put pressure on us driving the basketball, and they've got some dynamic drivers, and they played out of the middle ball screen and really just tried to get us in rotations. Some of it was poor execution by us. Most of it was pretty dynamic guard play and shot making by them, and I give them a lot of credit. So we had to make an adjustment at halftime on how we could somehow close that paint up a little bit. Again, everyone talks about Sessum scoring the ball, but what Sessum's really does is he puts your team in so much rotation. Okay, even if he doesn't get the assist, he gets the hockey assist. He gets it because because he's so dynamic getting past the primary defender.
How does a player like Ezra, who is so dynamic and physical, also kind of learn to limit fouls?
Yeah, we just talked about that out there and in the locker room. And early in the season when Ezra didn't play as much as I know he wanted to, and we would like him to, what he's playing right now, two of the biggest reasons were it was never his effort. It was never his attitude. He's always had phenomenal in those two areas in practice. But he was turning it over more than he needed to in practice, and he was fouling more than he needed to in practice defensively. Ezra's been someone that throughout high school has been able to switch on anybody who wants, play, guard a point guard, guard a post player. But it's a different level right now. He can still do it, but you have to do it understanding, hey, you have to do it within the team concept. You got to understand spacing. You got to understand playing with your hands and your feet. So early in the season, he was fouling a lot in practice. And honestly, turnovers and fouls is why he wasn't playing as much. But I've always said this, his attitude, his coachability, his work ethic stayed at such a high level, and he started to really look at those things. I don't need to turn it over. He's a skilled player. He can really handle the ball. And he's a strong player with quick feet. So he doesn't need to be a guy fouling. And he played 23 minutes tonight, 2 back-to-back games that he's fouled out in. And that's something we're going to continue to work on every day, because if we can get him where he's not in that foul trouble, we'd love him to be on the court a few more minutes.
Coppin State, a team with very good guard play with those two, but you were able to combat that in the second half and play really well offensively. Was there certain things that you discussed that you wanted to change in the second half? Because you were extremely efficient.
Well, the biggest thing defensively was we had to keep them out of the paint, and we did that with more switching defense. We had to get out there because, again, we couldn't even get ourselves in any kind of rotation to start the possession. So that was one. So when that happened, we said when we get stops, we're going to be able to run a little bit more. And when you can, anytime they got dynamic guards on offense, that means they got versatile dynamic guards on defense. They were switching, they were running their matchup zone. So when we got stops, we were able to get out and run. And then the last thing that we talked about in halftime outside of the defensive adjustments was the way they were playing, denying, switching to deny. We had to put pressure on the paint. Didn't just mean driving the ball only. It meant post touches. It meant multiple off-ball cuts. We got a few of those. We got a few back cuts. And then if they are going to pressure and they're going to try and keep us on a sideline, you have to go straight line drive downhill. You have to go and be ready to make a play. And, Jaden Walker's example was as good as any about, trying to execute that.
Where was Tabs tonight?
Non-COVID related illness, just being sick.
You guys had, you maybe a little banged up, or is that just as you get further in the season?
Probably a little bit of both. I mean, I think the rotation shrunk a little bit the last couple games, and it was probably going to happen. But game to game, you just don't know. Like, we didn't know we wouldn't have tabs till really, last night. And, you kind of make the adjustment. And Saxby Sunderland has been fantastic in practice every day. So he has earned an ability and earned an opportunity, I should say, to gain. And Saxby gave us great minutes, energy, defense. He gives the coaches confidence when he's in there. Quentin hit a little bit of a lull in his playing time the last few games. But you look at Quentin, comes in the game, so much respect to have that ability to. He's frustrated he's not playing, I'm sure, but he makes big free throws. So, I think we're at the point with this team, Steven, that I don't know if every game it's going to look the same. I think that's kind of the sign of a younger team or a less experienced team. Luigi hasn't played the last 2 games. Luigi's minutes were huge for us in the first half today. And when someone can come in and give you good minutes in a short span, that really makes a coach proud, because they didn't sulk or didn't get down on themselves from not playing the last couple games. They came in and did the job for 2 or 3 minutes at a time. And I thought 3 or 4 guys did that for us, but that also made the 6-man rotation more minutes, like you said.
Not a perfect game from you guys defensively and offensively, 4 of 18 from 3, yet you still put up 84 points and beat a pretty good offensive team. Does that kind of give you even more hope when you're looking at this team thinking, wow, the ceiling can be very high when we put it together?
Yeah, I just want to see, regardless, win, lose, draw, whatever the result is, we have to get it where 40 minutes we play the way that we practice every day. What we do every day offensively, what we do defensively. We had pockets. I think the score in the second half was 47-33. And, they just put their head down and drove the ball late in the second half. And they're hard to stop when they do that. So they were scoring that way and getting to the free throw line late game. But defensively, I thought we really executed what we tried to execute in the second half defensively. Now, can we find a way to do that for 40 minutes? We did it the first 10 minutes of the game. We did it really pretty solid but the last 10 minutes of the first half we didn't. At Wilmington, we did it the first 12 to 13 minutes of the game. Latter half of the first half, we get in foul trouble. Our physicality goes down. First 5-6 minutes of the second half, we don't do it, and then we get back to it. We have to find a way to do it for 40 minutes. Doesn't mean we're going to play a perfect game, but we should have a standard of what our identity is on both sides of the ball. And shooting the 3-ball never count as playing a perfect game or not, because we could play a great offensive game and make 0 threes. It's just the way basketball karma is. So, but to your point, it is good to win a game when you don't play your absolute best, but I'm not sure we have yet this season either.
Benjamin obviously struggled scoring the ball early in the season, but the last couple games he's really gone back. Can you just talk about his confidence and how he kept it up throughout his struggles early?
Because he kept playing hard. He kept playing defense in practice. He kept playing defense in the games when he did get in, and he kept rebounding, which he did again tonight. Big plays. And every player, every coach has not said one thing to him about his struggles on offense other than when you're open, take the right shot. We knew Ben's a good offensive player. And it was just a matter of seeing the ball go through the basket a few times. But most guys, when they're in that kind of slump, so to speak, offensively, they let the foot off the gas on defense. They let the foot off the gas on the intensity intangibles. He didn't do that ever, and he's never done that. And so we have the ultimate confidence in him. We even joked around with him the other night at the film session. We said, Ben, your numbers are at the very bottom of the country, and you're still starting for us. We're not worried about that. You don't have to worry about that. Just play this game the right way on offense, but make an impact on defense, and he's done that